Ferrari is in emergency mode and racing against time to fix the major issues with the SF-25 ahead of the Chinese GP. After the disaster in Australia, the Italian team has fast-tracked a package of upgrades to try and resolve excessive tire degradation, lack of pace in variable conditions, and communication failures between engineers and drivers. But will these solutions be enough to turn Ferrari into a genuine contender in China? Beyond the car improvements, F1 fans want to see much more. Hamilton finally adapting to the SF-25, Leclerc proving his strength against rivals, and most importantly, a team that finally gets its strategic decisions right. But we have something extra for you. Inside information about a possible secret Ferrari plan for China that could even catch Red Bull and McLaren by surprise. Get ready, because this video will give you all the details on Ferrari's desperate rescue mission before the Chinese GP and reveal something that few are talking about but could change the race entirely. Let's get into it. If there was a way for Ferrari to start the season in the worst possible fashion, they found it. The Australian GP was a complete disaster for the Maranello team, and the mistakes made were not mere misfortunes. They were symptoms of chronic problems that have been haunting the Scuderia for years. Let's break down exactly where Ferrari failed in Melbourne and why this has set off alarm bells for fans. It doesn't matter how fast a car is if it can't maintain a competitive pace throughout the race. The SF-25 suffered from excessive tire wear, forcing Leclerc and Hamilton to slow down and lose valuable time. While Red Bull and McLaren managed to maintain consistent performance over their stints, Ferrari was forced to aggressively manage tire wear, losing ground and missing crucial opportunities to attack. Even worse, the wear was not uniform. This meant that the car's balance became unpredictable as the race progressed. At times, the front tires wore out much faster than the rears, making the car unstable and preventing the drivers from pushing in the corners. This is a major issue, especially when competing against teams that do not suffer from this problem. If there is one thing that consistently puts Ferrari at a disadvantage, it's their lack of decisiveness and strategy. The Australian GP was no exception. When the rain started to fall, Ferrari seemed completely lost, with no clear direction on what decision to make. While other teams reacted quickly and split their strategies, Ferrari hesitated. Hamilton and Leclerc were kept out of the optimal pit stop window, losing precious time and dropping into the midfield battle. In moments like this, a top team needs to be ruthless and have a clear response. Ferrari, on the other hand, acted as if they were fumbling in the dark. If you thought the issues were only limited to tire degradation and strategy, think again. Ferrari's internal communication was a complete disaster. In one of the most bizarre moments of the race, Leclerc was told that heavy rain was coming, while Hamilton was informed that there was no forecast for intense rain. How is this possible within the same team? This disorganization is not just a one-off mistake, it is a structural problem. Ferrari must align communication between engineers and drivers more effectively if they want to avoid future disasters. Now, Ferrari has a chance for redemption at the Chinese GP, but it won't be easy. The Shanghai circuit is a unique challenge on the F1 calendar and demands a well-balanced car in all aspects. Here are the key factors that will determine Ferrari's success or failure this weekend. Unlike Melbourne, Shanghai has a cooler track surface, with temperatures ranging between 11 degrees Celsius and 26 degrees Celsius. This could help manage tire wear, reducing the excessive degradation that hurt the team in Australia. However, Ferrari must ensure they can generate enough heat in the tires to quickly reach the optimal operating window. The Chinese circuit is famous for its long straights and fast corners. This means that strong aerodynamic performance is essential. Ferrari must find the right balance between top speed and cornering grip. Otherwise, they will see McLaren and Red Bull pull away. Ferrari has a golden opportunity to recover at the Chinese GP, but must act quickly to fix its errors. If not, they will continue to lose ground to Red Bull and McLaren. Now we want to hear from you. Does Ferrari have a real chance of fighting for victory in China, or will they continue to frustrate their fans? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to stay updated on everything happening in the world of F1, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Also, check out our video on the FIA's investigation into the mini DRS trick that could impact Ferrari and McLaren right here. Lewis Hamilton's adventure with Ferrari kicked off last weekend at the Australian GP, marking the start of the 2025 Formula One season. As expected, the first race of a major championship always brings surprises, confusion, and a bit of mystery when looked at in hindsight. However, Melbourne provided a clearer view of what lies ahead for Hamilton, and the road appears to be much longer and more treacherous than the off-season optimism suggested. Beyond Hamilton's challenges, Ferrari as a whole was the biggest disappointment of the opening round. Preseason testing in Bahrain and early free practice sessions hinted at a season where McLaren and Ferrari would battle at the top. But reality hit hard. Instead of fighting for wins, Ferrari found itself struggling not only against Red Bull and McLaren, but also against Williams and Racing Bulls. Both Hamilton and Charles Leclerc admitted throughout the weekend that they were blindsided by the extent of Ferrari's difficulties. Leclerc's comment after qualifying was particularly telling. "I know where our struggles come from. We had to sacrifice some performance, which is never ideal, but it was necessary for this weekend. I won't go into more details." Leclerc, who knows Ferrari inside out after being with the team since 2019, hinted at a puzzling decision made specifically for Australia. Was it a setup adjustment tailored for Albert Park's high-speed corners? Or was it simply Ferrari still trying to understand their own SF-25? Whatever the case, one thing is clear. Alarm bells are ringing at Ferrari, loudly. The gap to the front in both qualifying and race pace was alarming, to say the least. A team that was supposed to challenge McLaren and Red Bull instead found itself struggling in the midfield. It was such a concerning start that Ferrari's technical director, Loic Serra, was sent back to Maranello to figure out how to fix things in time for the Japanese GP. That's right, he won't even be in China, because Ferrari sees Suzuka as a more relevant test ground for their car. But while Ferrari has major issues to solve, Hamilton's focus must remain elsewhere. Engineers, strategists, and Leclerc will handle the SF-25's technical weaknesses. But Lewis has something more urgent to address: his working relationship with race engineer Riccardo Adami. One of the biggest lessons from Melbourne? Preseason testing doesn't prepare you for real racing conditions. Over the 57 laps in Australia, Hamilton's frustrations with Adami became apparent. At times, he complained that Adami talked too much. At others, he felt there wasn't enough communication, especially before the heavy rain hit 12 laps from the finish. Unfortunately, at the end, they told me it would just be a short burst of rain and that the rest of the track was dry, so I thought, I'll hold on as long as I can. I can stay on track. They didn't say more rain was coming, so suddenly it got worse, and the communication was lacking, Hamilton criticized. Let's be real, this is a serious issue. The driver-engineer relationship is crucial for a successful season. If Hamilton and Adami don't find their rhythm soon, it will disrupt not just their performance, but Ferrari's entire campaign. They have 3 weeks in a triple header in China and Japan to work things out. If they don't, the tension will only grow. And we all know how that ends: public outbursts, frustration, and wasted potential. It's not just the team, it's also the car. Hamilton spent the offseason preparing, driving previous Ferrari models and completing preseason testing, but nothing compares to the real competition. There are things you can only learn in actual race conditions, like driving in the rain. I've never driven this car in the wet. I don't know which buttons I'll need to press tomorrow, so this will be new. We're using Brembo brakes, which I haven't used in a long time. I don't know how they behave in the rain or which settings we'll need for this car, Hamilton admitted before Sunday's race. This is Lewis Hamilton we're talking about, a 7-time world champion, a driver who has seen and conquered it all. If even he is struggling to find his comfort zone, it speaks volumes about the challenges ahead. He also pointed out another major issue. Normally, when you have a problem with the car and experience with it, you know where to go with adjustments. But right now, I don't know which tool to use. So for the first time, I'm relying heavily on the engineers. There are a lot of tools I'm still figuring out. Brake balance, cornering balance, it's all very different from what I had before. That's a telling statement. A driver like Hamilton thrives on instinct and feel. But when the car doesn't respond the way he expects, even he struggles to make split-second decisions. Until he truly understands the SF-25's behavior, he won't be able to extract 100% from it. The Albert Park weekend shattered the optimistic bubble surrounding Ferrari's offseason. The road to success will be longer and more challenging than anyone anticipated. Nothing unusual, but plenty to fix before dreaming of victories. So, what do you think? Can Hamilton and Ferrari bounce back? Or are we in for another season of frustration? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to stay on top of all things F1, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Formula One news channel, and turn on notifications. Oh, and check out our latest video on the FIA's investigation into Ferrari and McLaren's mini DRS. You won't want to miss it.